just kind of figured that Oakland, they're pretty bad. And they have been pretty bad, and they're going to be pretty bad again. So let's take this week for them to be pretty bad. We'll take Kansas City.
I will take the Oakland Raiders.
I'm wearing the Ultimate Football Team.
Yeah, you've mentioned that 50,000 times. Just shut up about it.
Well, when you're in head, you can talk about it.
Oakland.
Sure
well, I haven't made any picks yet. That may have been my mistake. Oakland will. I'm a believer. Although the Chiefs, I think, are semi-legit as well. It's at home. I like the Oakland running game. I like this Raiders club. Maybe I'm romanticizing it because I like the league better when the Raiders are a factor. I'll take Oakland to cover. Dan from Woodbury.
I don't know how to break it to Gerby, but it wasn't much of a rivalry back in the Okoye day or whatever his name was.
Oh, it was huge.
Neither team was really any good back then. When they were rivals was back in the good old days, back in the late 60s.
AFL days.
That's when it was a rivalry.
It's before its time.
Fact, I guess they are two teams that don't like each other very much. I'll take Kansas City, though. I like the Chiefs. Neither team was really any good back then.
Now I'm hearing turn your radio down, Carl.
Guys, listen to Austin.
Just stupid. Atlanta is favored by 8.5 over Tampa. How about this? Tampa Bay is a 5-2 club.
Yeah.
Well, why are we picking this game?
And they're
I thought we were going to pick the Packer game.
Just calm down.
Okay, we're getting to it.
Atlanta is favored by 8.5 over 5-2 Tampa Bay. That game is in Atlanta, Georgia. Gardsey.
I will take Tampa Bay to cover. I think Glenn Mason once said, figures lie and liars figure. And all the stats that say Tampa Bay is terrible. I'm going against all those things. I'm with the head coach. I'm with Raheem Morris down there. All they do is win. I don't know if they'll win this game, but they'll cover that 8.5.
Gerby?
No, see, here's the deal. I have a keen interest in this game because these teams are potential playoff teams.
So I picked it for you, Carl.
Yeah, so I was kind of watching this game closely. I think Atlanta is pretty good, and I think Tampa is kind of fraudulent. Have you seen who they beat them? They haven't beat anybody good. But
it's not their fault.
5 worst teams in the league.
Not their fault.
Tampa has much of a chance. I'll take Atlanta.
Not their fault.
No, I'll take Atlanta.
You take Atlanta to cover.
Sure.
The Atlanta Falcons will destroy the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's what I said.
Probably 2 touchdowns, maybe more. I was hoping to maybe convince you to go the other way. I'll take Atlanta to cover. We'll go with Dan from Woodbury next.
Yeah, I picked Atlanta to go to the Super Bowl when the season started, so I'm not.
Who do you have this week?
Yeah, I'm not going to change now, so I'm going to take Atlanta. Tampa Bay. It's the Tampa Bay smoke and mirrors. They're a terrible team.
And one more game to get to. I think it's another noon start, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Dallas and Green Bay's at night.
Yeah.
We're not picking that one.
What?
Well, why bother?
Well, you're kind of right about that. It's not going to be very close.
So why bother?
I don't care about that. That's a game. That's supposedly America's team.
Nobody cares about that game.
Everybody here does.
Yeah, well, you might care, but we don't care. We care about the Vikings.
The only reason I'm letting you off the hook on this one is such a lopsided victory for us.
Vikings, actually probably will be, based on what Dallas is up to.
You guys are starting to come around.
No, for one,
this season is over.
Because this time you're not delusional, which is rare. The Vikings.
You realize your season is over.
You're the idiot. What do you mean how is the season over for the Vikings?
Because it's over.
We're favored by.
To New England last week.
You see what we're favored by on Sunday? Noon game, 10 o'clock pregame on the Fan, 8.5 over the Arizona Cardinals.
So we're picking that game?
Gardsey.
I might as well stay consistent with what I've done every single week. At
Homer.
Some point, it's got to turn around.
Homer.
They are.
Yeah, that's working for you.
They're rallying around the fact that nobody likes Brad Childers. That's what I'm going with, and they will figure it out on their own this week, and the Vikings will cover that 8.5.
Gerby.
I'm so glad he never got on that airplane. I really am. I'm just so glad he never got on that airplane.
Now, in this case, you're not talking about Randy Moss, but of course about Brad Childers, because we refuse to allow him to get on the plane.
I'm here.
Yeah.
We would have laughed at him. We never would have hired him because he's an idiot. But I'm glad he never got on an airplane. So here's the deal. I think that, Arizona's not very good, and they got Derek Anderson as their quarterback, and Kurt Warner's on Dancing with the Stars, so I predict he's going to win. So that's, by the way, that's an extra prediction for you. So I kind of think that maybe Minnesota might win a game, but they're terrible. But the fact is, Arizona is more terrible. So I'll take Minnesota minus whatever those points are.
Vikings will humiliate the Arizona Cardinals.
And possibly themselves.
And maybe even themselves.
Way.
And it still might not save Brad Childress' job by the end of the season.
I hope they save his job.
But I will. I know Arizona is up and they're down and they're weird. They got a couple of nice victories, one could say, but their quarterback situations. This is the week that Jared Allen shows a pulse finally, and and you know who's going to have a big week this week too? Bernard Berrien. Mark it down here, Bernard Berrien.
Oh my gosh, how pathetic! I honestly feel bad for you people.
Vikings will cover.
I feel bad.
Dan from Woodbury.
My sources tell me Harvin's limping pretty badly. I don't think he'll be a factor. I think the Vikings lose. I think they get.
You think it's over?
Yeah, I
hope they don't lose. I hope they win.
I think they lose, and it's not even because the Cardinals are any good. I just don't think the Vikings have it. I think they're done.
Harvin never likes to practice.
Some of you are going to have to deal with a new coach when the Packers play on Metrodome.
You're never going to see us coming.
It's possible, and you know what? It could very well be the very highly regarded, well respected by the players, Leslie Frazier.
Good luck to him. Your team is terrible. Your season is over. I really appreciate you having me on. My daughter says hi to all her friends in Minneapolis. I think she made one the entire time we were there. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful, terrible weekend.